Election Day. It's time to get out and vote. See how the lines look this year.
Religious rights. The Summum group continues to fight for their statue in a Pleasant Grove park.
And vocal viewing. Singing group Vocal Point joins their fans in a special viewing of last night's sing-off. I'm Lydia DeFranchi.
And I'm Janae Anderson. It's Tuesday, November 8th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. Award-winning 11 News at noon.
It's Election Day 2011, and even though it's not a presidential election year, city officials say voting this year is just as important. Provo City is looking for 4 new city council members. 11 News reporter Ashley Moser was at the polls bright and early this morning. Ashley, did voters get the message that this is an important year to vote?
Well, Janae, we won't know that information until the polls close, but city officials are telling me that the numbers are pretty small. They're saying it's important to get out there and vote because elected officials for city council make decisions that are important to us. So, every vote makes a difference. Is it the cold weather or the pressing issues that are keeping voters away from the polls? Since the doors opened at 7 a.m., 6 people have turned in their ballots in the first hour at the city officials say they hope more voters will head to the polls later today.
The elections have been a little bit slow. We haven't seen a lot of people come in, but we expect it to pick up, especially after work. People will come in a lot after work.
Because this is not an election year, poll workers hope to see at least 15% of voters turn out. This may not sound like many people, but the lines can get long at certain times of the day.
People will go in, they'll have a line up at 7 o'clock ready to vote, and then it'll slow down during the day, and then at night it'll pick up. And usually by 8 o'clock when the polls close, we still have people in line.
It takes a lot to keep things running smoothly when those lines are out the door, and poll workers are the key to making sure an important day is not a stressful one.
People don't really appreciate the poll workers that spend all day. They're there from 6:30 in the morning until 8:30 at night with very little breaks, and they don't get paid a lot of money, but they do it because they want to help the community.
It's still not too late to vote. There are polls open that are 8 more hours. Excuse me, they're open for 8 more hours. So everybody go online and look for a map to see where to vote and also to see results after the polls close. In Provo, Ashley Moser, 11 News.
And we'll be sure to check that out. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
If you worry about your neighbors seeing which party you vote for, you're not alone. A new BYU study suggests 30% of voters who go against their neighborhood party lines worry their ballot will be seen by other people, especially if they believe the machine lets others see their vote. The study also says voters who side with their neighborhood norms are far less worried about privacy.
If you're in Provo right now and you're hearing sirens, don't be alarmed. Provo City began testing their emergency alarm system at noon, but it could also be a reminder to vote in today's city elections. The polls are open until 8 p.m. and a list of polling locations is also available on our website. And Governor Herbert is urging people in Utah to be aware of the first ever nationwide test of the emergency system. Federal agencies will be supervising this program designed to communicate with the whole country in case of an emergency. You may notice this test on TV and radio tomorrow at 4, and it will last for 30 seconds.
An Orem plastic surgeon is facing charges of kidnapping and domestic violence against his girlfriend. Police say they broke into Joseph Edward Berg's home after hearing a fight through his girlfriend's 911 phone call. They found the woman tied up with medical tape in the closet. Paramedics treated her for minor injuries, and Berg spent the night in jail but posted bail yesterday. 2 men are behind bars in connection with the Solon Saratoga Springs statue. Police arrested the 19-year-old boys on Sunday after getting a tip from a friend that the men had the statue in their closet. The bronze figure is worth $4,000 and was made in memory of April Roper, who died in an explosion in 2007.
Losing a U.S. Supreme Court case isn't enough to stop one religious group from fighting for what they call equal access. 11 News reporter Alexis Flake shows us what they want and why the city of Pleasant Grove is fighting them.
The Summum is a religious group based in Salt Lake City, and they say that if Pleasant Grove displays one religion's beliefs, they have to give all other groups the same opportunity. After losing their case in the U.S. Supreme Court 2 years ago, they hope that the Utah courts will come to a different conclusion.
This memorial of the 10 Commandments has stood in Pleasant Grove's Pioneer Park for decades, but the Summums say they should have a place in the park as well. Members of this group believe in self-liberation and want to display their 7 aphorisms beside the 10 Commandments.
Having once opened the door to the display of the 10 Commandments, Pleasant Grove has opened the door to everyone who wants to display their religious beliefs in that city park.
These aphorisms include laws like mental creation, rhythm, and gender. The Summum believe that Moses received them along with the commandments, but his people weren't ready to live them. Pleasant Grove city policy says that public monuments must have historical ties to the community, and the aphorisms don't pass the test. Pleasant Grove's attorney says the state courts will accept the Supreme Court's rationale from 2009 that permanent monuments on public land are government, not public speech. In a phone interview, he said that the Summum aren't being singled out and that no group, regardless of religion, can put up a monument.
Summum has no desire for the 10 Commandments to be removed. Summum wants equal access, and Summum thinks that the world would be a better place if the 10 Commandments, as well as their 7 aphorisms, are displayed.
The American Center for Law and Justice represents Pleasant Grove in this lawsuit and isn't required to respond to this case until late December. Lydia?
Utah's Attorney General just submitted his resume for a new job, but it's not practicing law. Mark Shurtleff is the first applicant to publicly confirm his entry to be the next University of Utah president. The school is screening applicants for the position since Michael Young stepped down to take over at the University of Washington.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Special screening. Fans from as far as Canada joined singing group Vocal Point for their movie theater debut.
And Jackson's justice. Michael Jackson's doctor gets his verdict and a pair of handcuffs. BYU's Vocal Point is still in the NBC competition The Sing-Off after a night of country and rock and roll. The group rocked the songs You Really Got Me and Life is a Highway, getting a great response from the audience and judges.
Is that how they do it in Provo, Utah?
The judges eliminated the only all-female group Delilah, leaving only 5 teams fighting for $200,000 and an album contract. There's only 3 more weeks before the live finale, where the public will decide who will win. Episodes of The Sing-Off are pre-recorded, which means that Vocal Point members are in Provo. And this week they invited friends, family, and fans to watch The Sing-Off with them. 11 News reporter Lizzie Early shows us why this event filled up so fast.
The Megaplex in Sandy is usually not very busy on a Monday night, but this week people lined up and drove for hours just to get there.
Me and my dad drove all the way down from Boise to come see Vocal Point. Totally big fan. It says on my shirt, and they're my homies now, and I can't let them down.
Vocal Point has over 10,000 fans on Facebook. They use this fan base to help advertise for concerts and shows. Using Facebook as a tool, this event filled up faster than any other concert.
We've been watching it on Hulu on my little computer this whole time, and now to actually watch it on big screen makes it feel so much more of a big deal.
Fans got the chance to meet and talk with Vocal Point members, get autographs, and even win prizes during the commercial breaks.
Our fans are awesome. Sometimes I'll sit in rehearsal and look around and think it's just 9 guys that go to college that happen to like to sing. But the amount of support that we get from people that are really good friends and family and people that we've never met is really humbling.
Fans even heard the talents of Vocal Point members in person and gave it a try themselves. In Sandy, Lizzie Early, 11 News.
And Lindsay tells us singing in Vocal Point is like working a full-time job but without the paycheck. And this event was free to fans, but many donated to the Vocal Point Scholarship Fund.
A jury convicts Michael Jackson's doctor, charges in the Penn State Athletic Department sex scandal, and Herman Cain accuser goes public. Here's your look at news from across the nation. Police handcuffed Dr. Conrad Murray in a Los Angeles courtroom as the judge read the verdict, guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of Michael Jackson. The pop star died from anesthesia while under Murray's care. He'll be in jail at least until his November 29th sentencing. The doctor could get as many as 4 years in prison. Former Penn State Athletic Department executives face charges of perjury and not reporting suspected abuse. Prosecutors say the men knew former assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky was sexually abusing underage boys over a 15-year period and covered it up. The executives resigned from the university Sunday, and Sandusky says that he is innocent. And one of Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain's accusers has decided to go public. Sharon Bialik says the restaurateur groped her while they were out together on a dinner-time job interview. Cain denies the charges, but Bialik says when she heard the stories of 3 other accusers, it gave her the courage to step up now. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Lydia?
111 News at Noon returns. Charity Challenge. NBA players forget the lockout and get together for a star-studded cause. Merry messages. One woman sells homemade cards to benefit children in Africa, but the way she makes them might surprise you.
And leaves are still falling outside as sunny skies are expected to bring a gradual warming over the next few days. Your 11 weather when we...
And a clarification from earlier in the show, the national emergency test will happen tomorrow at noon, not 4. So Jake, it's been pretty cold the past couple of days, but not too unpleasant. It was sunny earlier today.
Yeah, is this something that's going to last? Can we see it the next couple weeks?
You're going to see like the sun for the next few days at least. We're sure of that. It's not going to be as warm though, so I'm glad you're not thinking it's too cold outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I know there's been a little bit of cold, with the frost on the windows in the morning. Right now we're looking outside at a beautiful weather shot to the south of BYU campus, and the leaves are still coming down. The sunny skies are coming and going to be throughout the day, mostly sunny. There will be clouds that roll in, but those temperatures are going to stay in the 30s. We may reach up into the 40s, 36 currently right now, and it's going to be a little bit breezy with the north wind coming in, so you may feel a little bit of a chill if you're not in the sun. And those temperatures are going to last all throughout the day, and expect that to go into this evening with those mostly clear skies. The sun, however, is at a different angle. It's not as high in the sky, so that's why the warming is going to take a little bit longer, and the ground's not going to warm up like it used to earlier in the fall. So a low of 24 tonight, and the sunset at 5:16. So it may feel like it's getting colder, but the days are just getting shorter. And that storm that moved through yesterday has actually moved over to the Four Corners and is continuing to the east. There is an area of clouds coming in. They're high clouds, so no precipitation, but they will be moving through the state, a northwesterly flow. And there is a storm that we're looking at, and it's in the Alaska basin right now, and it will move down into California, and it's going to sit right there. We expect it to arrive Friday, but we're not quite sure yet if it's going to go north or south, so we're going to have to wait and see if it's going to bring snow to the north or maybe some showers in the south. Highs across the state are in the 40s and 50s, 36 in Bernal, 46 in Moab, and the high 56 in St. George. So southern Utah is a little bit colder right now, but we can expect those temperatures to start climbing. Friday will be the high with 65, and it's going to start to go down a little bit into the weekend, and that's when we expect that storm to possibly move in, but cooler temperatures starting at the first of next week. And northern Utah, we can expect a little bit of a gradual warming, the degrees climbing a few each day. Friday 48 degrees into Saturday 48, and we do have a few clouds there because we're still not sure if that is going to be our next snowstorm, so could end up on Saturday or maybe the first part of next week.
So if the snow comes, is it something that's going to stick to the ground? Because I know we had snow last week, but it kind of fizzled out and disappeared after a couple hours.
You may see it stick around a little bit more as those temperatures are staying colder.
All right, well, we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
So we're already about 2 weeks into the NBA season and still no basketball.
Yeah, Kelsey, any word on the NBA lockout?
Well, David Stern has placed a Wednesday afternoon deadline for the recent 50-50 deal. But while the lockout may be keeping an NBA season away from us, it's not stopping stars like this guy from hitting the court for free. And battle for 3. 2 teams fought for their 3rd straight victory. We'll show you who triumphed. Sports is next. Stay tuned. The Utah Jazz versus the NBA Stars. It's not a matchup you've seen before or will likely see again. 11 Sports reporter Rebecca Wone headed to Salt Lake to watch the action.
All right, fans, you ready to play ball?
The lockout can keep them from an NBA season,
but it can't keep some of the NBA's most recognized faces off the courts of Salt Lake.
It was just good to get out there and, get on a little taste, just a little taste, what could happen this season.
For some of the players, the charity exhibition was the first game of their season.
I think it's frustrating for everybody, everybody that's involved, not just the players. And, a lot of people depend on the NBA, and we hope to be able to get it started as quickly as we can.
It's been hard. You go work out every day, you play pickup games, and sometimes it gets boring.
Despite their frustrations, the lockout didn't keep them from having fun on the court, with the fourth quarter turning into a dunking contest and Jeremy Evans scoring the final dunk for the opposing team.
It's a different brand of basketball when you're playing like this. It's more for the fans and, not as competitive, but a lot of high-flying plays, a lot of dunks, three-point long-range shots.
The players came from across the nation, but playing basketball wasn't the only thing on their agenda.
Fans who came not only got to see a great game, but they got to donate to charities like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Special Olympics.
Just trying to get back to the fans and just have a good time.
In Salt Lake, Rebecca Wowen, 11 News.
The Jazz pulled a win with a final score of 144-124. And if you didn't make it to the game but would like to donate to the charities, you can find that information on our website. In a battle for 3, the Philadelphia Eagles took on the Chicago Bears at home, where both were fighting for their third straight win. In the second, Bears leading early. Bears QB Jay Cutler with a throw behind Matt Forte, and he is stripped by Brian Wall, who takes the ball in for the 22-yard TD to tie the game. At the end of the recess, game's tied at 17. Forte takes the ball 6 yards, but he's knocked down and fumbles it. Eagles recover and later go up 24-17. With 2 minutes left in the game, 4th and 10, Eagles are down by 6 and taking a risk with Michael Vick to Jeremy Maclin, and it's caught, but he can't get to the line. Bears win 30-24 and have won 3 of the last 4 games against the Eagles. The world of boxing is mourning the loss of one of the greatest boxers of all time, Smokin' Joe Frazier. Frazier died Monday night after a brief battle with liver cancer at the age of 67. Known for his vicious left hook and flooring fighters like Muhammad, the Greatest Ali, Frazier helped fuel boxing's popularity in the 60s and 70s. Smokin' Joe Frazier was crowned with the heavyweight gold and held tight to that title when he defeated Ali in the match dubbed the Fight of the Century at Madison Square Garden. Ali got his revenge years later in the Thrilla in Manila battle, but he says Frazier will be remembered as one of the world's toughest boxers.
And so a lot of athletes and other people paid their condolences to the family through social media sites like Twitter, tweeting their respects.
Any word on when the funeral services will be held?
We don't have any word yet, but one of professional boxers, Floyd Mayweather, is paying for he's offered to pay for the funeral.
Oh, wow, how wonderful. Thanks, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Still to come on 11 News at noon, Holiday Hero. Find out what is inspiring one young woman to sell Christmas cards for Africa. We'll be right back.
What does your favorite band inspire you to do? 11 News reporter Whitney Wanacott met with one woman who's taking inspiration from U2 and giving back all she can.
Elsha Stockseth does everything your normal 28-year-old would do. She has a Facebook, she likes to draw, and she loves the band U2. 12 years ago, she started her own Christmas card company, and with the money she makes from selling these cards, she sends supplies to less fortunate kids, all while living with muscular dystrophy.
And she sells these cards around Christmas time, and then she uses that money for the whole year to send boxes. Last year, she sent like 4 different box sets of things to different orphanages.
She grew up listening to U2 and fell in love with their music. She says their lyrics help her to never give up, and now she wants to share that helping spirit with others.
I've had so many opportunities, and people have helped me do everything I do. And Bonner's helped me and made dreams come true. So I want to help someone else and have them feel the way I feel.
And as far as Elsha is concerned, the best way to help is to give back to others.
like the only way I can pay him back is to pay it forward and help the people in Africa.
Elsha has never had the use of her legs, and she lost the use of her arms 10 years ago. Rather than giving up, she found a new way to keep giving.
I can't hold my arms up very well, so I find a different way.
Elsha uses this headband as a mouse. The reflective dot on it actually allows her to do anything she needs to do on the computer.
I can do stuff again, like on my own by myself.
Elsha will make cards as long as she can. She says as long as Bono is still singing, she will keep fighting. In Ogden, Whitney Wanacott, 11 News.
What a remarkable young woman.
Yeah, that's such a great example of having the Christmas spirit the whole season long, you know, all year long.
Yeah, she's such an inspiration. So
Yeah, she's very determined. Like, nothing's going to stop her. So.
We should figure out a way to get some of those Christmas cards.
I wonder if she's ever sent any of them to Bono.
Possibly.
Definitely.
That's 11 News at noon for Tuesday, November 8th.
You can join us anytime at our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.